Hello from me, Lazar Hristov. We continue with the next lesson from the HTML course. Last time we finished with the 8th chapter and now we move on to the 9th chapter, lists in HTML. We open the PDF file first. Lists in HTML are used for grouping of interconnected parts, fragments of information, and enable this information to be systematized and to present it in a convenient way. Three types of lists are used: ordered, numbered, list. Unordered, unnumbered, list, and a list of descriptions or definitions. Each of them represents a container, in which the list items are placed, or the descriptions/definitions under the third schedule. List elements are blocks, stack one under the other and occupy the entire width of the parent block, container. Lists can be nested within each other. We start with the ordered or numbered list. It is a set of elements, list items that are numbered in a certain sequence. The numbers from this list can be numbers or letters. Browsers display the numbers 1, 2, 3. The ordered list is most often used to describe the following: parts, points of a given content, on a need-to-know basis and to see their total number, for example, a list of students in a class, arranged alphabetically. Indicates a place, the exact place, which occupies each element, for example, a list of the results of a sports competition, describing a particular sequence of actions, e.g., cooking recipe or a computer program algorithm. The ordered list is created through the elements OL, opening and closing tag, and its content is placed in them. OL is short for ordered list, from English language. Each item in the list is placed between the li element tags, where li is short for list item, from English language. Each item receives a sequential number, as I already mentioned. By default it is an integer 1, 2, 3, and so on. Here is an example. The code in the editor will be this. In short, I read what we wrote. On September 17th, the Bulgarian Orthodox Church honors the memory of Saint Sophia and of her 3 daughters who suffered martyrdom for Christ, named after the chiefs. Christian virtues: faith, hope and love. Here's how we've listed them. Here are the OL tags and here are the li tags for each of them. And in the browser we will see the following. I won't show this with an example right now, and you can download the examples from the download page on my site. Here are all the examples from the HTML part and the CSS part. They are free to download. There they are arranged by chapter and you can see them. Thus, the element OL has 4 own attributes. Type specifies the type of list tags. Its values are 1. Default, the numbers 1 to 9. A. Latin capital letters A, lowercase Latin letters. INI, Roman numerals, capital and normal, small. Start, indicates the number from which to start list numbering. Reversed, displays the list in reverse order, decreasing, 9, 8, 7. Compact, makes the list smaller, more compact. Two of these attributes, type, start, were deprecated in HTML 4.01, but in HTML5 they restored them again and are maintained and used, and the compact attribute, not supported in HTML5. And the last attribute, reversed, is newly introduced in HTML5 and is of Boolean type. So currently on Spec 3 attributes are supported. 2 or can be used 3 attributes at once. Here is an example. Here we have used the reversed and type attributes, and here it is seen in large Roman numerals 3, 2, I. It's on this list. We continue with second point, an unordered or unnumbered list. The unordered list 2 represents a set of items, list items, but we don't have numbering with him, and we have tags in front of its elements in the form of a filled circle or disk, can also square or circle. There are several options. By default, browsers show the markers in the form of black filled circle or disk. The unordered list is used in many cases, mainly when the sequence and exact number of the items in the list are irrelevant, or are not known in advance. It has another important application, for crafting on-site navigation menus. It is done via CSS. The unordered list is created by the UL element, which is an abbreviation from unordered list from English. And here again we have the li elements. To illustrate an unordered list we will use the previous example again. The code is exactly the same, only here I shorten the text. The main Christian virtues are, and this is how it looks, any name with a filled disk in front. The UL element in HTML 4.01 had 2 attributes of its own, type, through which it turned out the type of tags in the list, disk, circle, square, and whether it is filled or not. In HTML5, these attributes, however, no longer supported. To show up tag type, is used. CSS and the property, list style type. A list of descriptions or definitions. The descriptive list is used to introduce terms, definitions, and description to them. Mainly applied to dictionaries, interpretative, terminological, and other. With this list, there is some difference between an HTML5, although this difference is not very large, even if there are no tags such, but there is only in the explanations. We will explain both options, by coloring them in a different color. In HTML 4.01 this list is defined as a definition list, list of definitions, which also means a list of definitions. And in HTML5 this one list is defined as description list, that is, it means list of descriptions. This list is created with the item DL and is placed in its content. DL stands for definition/description list, from the English language, which is valid for both words. But before I explain about the list items, I'll show you an example. Here, for example, put in DL. As DL is the common element, the individual lines are like this: in DT put the main words, and in DD they are put the detailed explanations. So and here you see what it says, in this list: faith, the first of the main one's Christian virtues; hope, the second of the main one's Christian virtues; love, the main Christian virtue. The list items are consist of two parts. The first part is placed between the DT element tags. In the first part in HTML 4.01 DT defines definition list item, and in HTML5 DT defines a list of descriptions. The second part is placed between the DD elements and it describes the term, the element, from the first part. Custom attributes in this list are not used. And finally we'll look at the li element. As we already understood, between tags of this element are placed all points from ordered and unordered list in HTML5. Closing it is not required, but as I already said, learning to type is highly recommended properly structured code. That's why it is you better make a habit of it. You close any item that basically has a closing tag. In HTML5, the li element can be used also to create a navigation menu. The li element has two attributes, type and value. The value attribute was deprecated in HTML 4.01. But in HTML5 it is supported again. And the type attribute is not supported in HTML5. Not supported in HTML5. The type attribute contains the values of same attributes and from arrays, and from the unordered list we have already considered them. The value attribute SE, only used in ordered list, has a similar role as the OL start attribute, that is, it renders a new value, from which it already continues the numbering of the list. Only that the value this attribute allows more precise control because it gives possibility of the numbering to changes from a specific element. I show one example for both attributes. For example, the tags in an unordered list will be disk-shaped, and here's what we'll see. In the second example, using the value property, we can change the numbering from a specific list item. Here is the code. Here from this element we set value 10, and here's how it looks here, 1, 2, and this element becomes 10. Nested lists, as we already understood, every one list types can be nested within each other. In practice, this is used very often, in the articles, the lectures, the books. In this one book also in many places has insertion of unordered lists, but the most common use of nested lists is at the very structure of a given book or larger article. Such a structure usually contains several chapters, each of which has points, bullet points, and so on. Especially clear this structure is visible in the content. Here is an example of a book with 3 chapters, each of which has 3 subdots, each of them also divided into 3 parts, and so on. Here is the code. You see nested within each other elements on 2 levels, nested into each other, and there you go. What does this look like? That's all for this thread. Best regards.